Hi, namaste.
Hey,
Good to see you. How are you?
how are you?
Good, good. So I've got an interesting flow for us tonight. While Marta is away, I thought it'd be fun for you to use double props. Um, so go ahead and grab her bolster, unless she took it with her. I don't think so.
Marta is sending her regards.
Oh, how nice. How's she doing?
I think she's happy.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. That's great to hear. Well, we're going to get pretty deep tonight in the hips and the hammies, the hamstrings. So I thought it'd be nice to use a little double pillow action. I've got mine as well. Oops. There's a cat on top of them as well. But let's go ahead and get started. Hmm. So as you were in your comfortable meditative seat, allow the eyes to close or to heavy. Take a big breath in through the nose. Open the mouth, side away. Another one like that. Big breath in. Even bigger sigh out of the mouth. And then go ahead and interlace your fingers and create this kind of Charlie's Angels pistol. So the pointer fingers will extend out and away from you, and the bottom three fingers interlace. Right thumb will cross on top. Yeah. Go ahead, allow that to rest into your lap. Beautiful. The forearms will rest a little bit more snug in towards the hip creases. And allow the eyes to close and settle into this mudra, this yoga of the hands. Good. This mudra is called Sapana Mudra. It's a mudra for cleansing and purifying and ultimately letting go. So taking just a few moments here, breathing naturally in and out through the nose. For a moment, just imagine you're in the middle of a stream or by a stream. And you're all alone there. It's nice and peaceful. You can hear the birds. You can feel the wind blow up and brush up against your skin. You even feel the sun's warmth glowing right there upon you. And you hear the water. You hear the stream flowing past, doing what it does, circulating, cleansing, and in constant flow, constant churning. You might even hear a few of the pebbles kind of get knocked about underneath the river's current, ever so slightly. Now just begin to imagine that you are that current. You are the waters, that river. And all that water flows and cascades from the crown of your head. It flows past your ears, your neck. It washes over your shoulders and your back. Cleanses the heart space, washes past the belly, down the arms. You are the river. You are in constant flow and in constant change. And you let go of the things that do not serve you. And you rearrange the pebbles beneath you in such a way that helps you to freely flow. Take a moment to set an intention for your practice. An intention rooted around perhaps something that you need to let go of. Releasing the ties or bonds, grudges, frustrations, fears, worries, anything. Something that's hindering you from moving on. Allow it to wash away down that stream, just like the fallen leaves do in autumn. You do that so that new ones can come in. Fresh, pure, and full of life. Until the cycle continues. Start to breathe a little bit deeper, breathing into the belly and the heart. See that thing, whatever your intention is rooted around, whatever it is that you need to let go, and take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale out of the mouth, see it go. Another one, big breath in. See that thing that you need to release and then exhale it away. Allow yourself to flow, breathing naturally in and out through the nose. As you further watch that little thing that held on so tight, you finally let it go and you see it drift further and further away until you can't see it anymore. You might even smile to yourself thinking, oh, can't believe I held on to that for so long. So that we're humble in our forgivings. We learn to find and see the good. Breath in for Om. Inhale. Float a prayer towards your heart space, and for a moment, just briefly bow your third eye down to meet and honor your prayer and the intention that you set. When you're ready, let's meet in a child's pose. Setting up in a way that feels comfortable and supportive. You might grab a blanket and wedge it between your hips and your heels. Knees will go wide, and here's where we're going to use those bolsters. Grab both of them. Like princess in the pea. Really stacking it. Getting as much cushion as we need, and bringing it as high up off the ground as you need, right? So you can always stack blocks underneath if it's still a little bit too short, right? If you need a bit more of it to come to you, you could always do that. And you're going to get those bolsters right there in between your legs so that when you fold forward, it catches your belly. Right? That's it. Yeah, nice. And then one cheek will come to the bolster. And I'll let you know when you can switch your gaze. Close the eyes. Take a big breath in. On the breath out, flutter your lips. And go in. Feeling the support of the bolsters beneath you. Surrender to them because they are there to hold you. Because we have all of this wonderful support beneath us, it's a great moment to breathe into the belly so that we can fill up the back space, the lower back, the middle back. Breathing into the corners that we don't normally because, well, we don't walk around with bolsters on our front body. Right, so we use this little bit of resistance that we feel in the front body to breathe bigger and seeing where it gets sent to in different parts of the body. Really embellishing the bloom of the belly, the rise and fall. Feel free to play with any of your hums. Entertaining the vocal assist on the self, breathing in through the nose. Gentle hum, keeping the lips sealed and the teeth parted. And just a reminder, it doesn't have to sound pretty, just has to feel good. Something I'm always reminding my mantra meditation yoga students of. When you come to the mantra practice to use your voice, it's just, it's not about what it sounds like. It's purely an invocation to the divine, to love, and to celebrate life. And letting your voice ring true for what it is, because there's no one else in this world that sounds like you. Trust in yourself, trust in your voice, trust in what you have to offer, even on the smallest level. You can go ahead and switch your gaze to the other direction. And even though we're in the same pose, we've shifted perspective. So give yourself a settling breath in through the nose. And a gentle flutter on the breath out. So that we further the relaxation and the heaviness into the pose. And surrender to its healing capabilities. We have about a minute left. Just keep your, attention to your breath. Every time we come to our mat or to a meditation practice, it's a chance to meet the self. It's a chance to be with the self and to breathe a bit more fully into this life. But that doesn't mean that once we leave the mat that we stop. On the contrary, we take it with us. So that we breathe into our day. We breathe into the happenings around us so that we're a part of it and that it's not happening to us. Final breath in for your child's pose. Take it in and breathe it away. Slide your hands towards your knees. Press into your palms to roll up to a seat. Nice. And then we'll move into our next pose, which is Sphinx pose. So we'll remove just one bolster. We'll keep the other one. This time, it'll go horizontal. And the blanket we'll also put off to the side. We're going to come forward, draping our torso onto the bolster. Our heart is lifted and up and over the bolster. Our hips are grounded. Forearms come to the ground. Plant the palms down. Relax the shoulders. And option to keep the head lifted. If the head starts to get a little heavy, this has been offered to me when I've taken a yin class. So if you're not really feeling holding the head, you can very well take a block there for the head to rest. There's still a soft opening of the heart and workings into the digestion, even with the block. Good. Check in to make sure that your elbows are directly underneath your shoulders. So just narrow them a bit. Yeah, there you go, nice. So that'll create a firmer foundation. Take a breath in. Flutter your lips on the breath out. And once again, you use the advantage of the props to breathe deeper. To breathe into those tight, sticky places that don't let you breathe otherwise. Right? Sometimes it takes a little resistance and a little bit of a bind, so to speak, to make our way through the tensions. Right? We don't do funky yoga poses because it looks cool. Or to pretzel just to pretzel. No, it's to be able to intellectually move through challenges. Physical and mental. The yoga practice helps us to see in the possibilities of letting go. And that everything will be okay with change. Change can be scary, but it is necessary. Hmm. Check in to make sure that the jaw is nice and soft and that the teeth aren't clenching or gripping down on each other. Even the tongue, allow it to fall away from the roof of the mouth. Even allowing the just the lips to get soft and supple and maybe even hang open slightly. Final breath in. Flutter your lips on the breath out. Maybe rock your third eye from side to side on that block. It's nice and easy and gentle. And you'll press into your palms and forearms to lift your head. Block to the side. Palms come onto the ground or onto the bolster. Press the ground away, all fours. And we'll set up for our next pose. So this was actually a little tip from Marta. She had mentioned a while back about using the bolster to support ourselves in a lunge. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to take both of our bolsters, put them long ways down the center of our mat. Blocks will come with us because even though we had all this padding, I personally found that I still needed a bit more. So just keep them nearby. And how we're going to get into this is the right foot is going to come forward. So I'm going to sit right here behind the bolster. My left knee is just up against it. So it's just touching the bolster. It's not on the bolster. It's just touching it. I'll come to stand on my shins. So now even more, the front of my left thigh, right, my quad, is now up against both bolsters. So I've got the stability of the bolster here. Of course, if I need a little bit more, I'll take the blocks there so I'm nice and tall. And I'll step my right foot forward outside of the blocks, or the bolsters. My hands will walk forward till I come to the very end of the bolster. My back toes will untuck. Toes point directly back behind me. And here's where we'll stay. I'll take this on the other side so you can see a little bit better. So we have these bolsters right here. Our quad is resting right onto the bolster. It's nice and supported there for the front of that left hip. And you can keep your hands on these blocks or maybe experiment with going a little bit deeper, bringing the forearms onto the block. So you create a little bit more of a lizard pose here. Yeah, if the bolster feels far away, remember you can always use those blocks, stocking them at the medium setting, the lowest setting, whatever setting works for you, right? They shape shift, different heights. Nice, good. Relax the shoulders, take your gaze forward and close the eyes. Breathe it in and breathe it out. Now this is a rather challenging pose to soften into, and that's okay. Just want to say that that's okay. It's a big pose, this dragon, lizard, low lunge. It's asking a lot. It's asking us to be strong and soft at the same time. It's asking us to be firm in our stance while at the same time letting go. As we took Sapana Mudra at the beginning of our of class, we started with that mudra meditation. That mudra actually harnesses the second chakra. And the second chakra lies in the hips. The element for the hips or for the second chakra is water. Hence, continuous flow, evolution, change, acceptance, forgiveness, the ability to let go. And let's face it, it's not easy for many of us to let things go, no matter what it is. So every time I come to this pose, I remind myself to be soft with myself and patient. Because it does ask a lot of us, but that doesn't mean we have to give 100 or do everything at once or let everything go at once. A little bit at a time when the time is right. Final breath in. Flutter your lips, breath out. Tuck your back toes. Press your hands into your blocks. And a little lengthening of that front leg. Toes will lift towards the sky. And then go ahead, rebend that front knee. Blocks, come to the side briefly. We're going to take our bolster and we're going to turn it horizontally beneath us. So it's still in between our legs. We have our blocks nearby that they may come onto the bolster for, again, a little extra added height. So before you come forward into this pose, I'm going to show you what it looks like really quick. So we are going for a slightly deeper hamstring opener. So option one would be to stay in this modified half split, right? We've got our shin down in the back, right? That's our stabilizer. And our front leg is lengthened and resting on the bolster. You can very well stay here. If you would like to go a little bit deeper, you will tuck the back toes. Little bit of a bend into the front knee, generous flex in the front toes. You'll slide the front heel forward so that your hips, you come to sit on your bolster. It's a big one. We'll be here for about 2 minutes. If this feels like a lot, what I was also doing in my practice is I was taking a block and just like this, keeping it the same width of the block of the bolster, I would slide it underneath where I come to sit. So it's a little bit more firm and I'm also a bit more elevated, which helps keep my hips pointing directly forward. So it's an honest, almost full split. Let's face it, I'm not on the ground, but this is a great modification for wanting to gradually extend through both legs. All right, try to soften. That's the challenge. Close the eyes. Breathe in and breathe out. You can even soften through those front toes a little bit. Give them a little wiggle. Yeah, just to let the foot know everything's going to be okay. Letting the leg know that everything's going to be okay. This is all one piece, one big flow of energy right here. Sometimes a little twinkle of the toes lets those little parts of you know that they're a part of it and everything is going to be okay. and then left. So good. We've got half a minute left here. Really beautiful. Allow the shoulders to relax and get heavy so that the crown of the head can rise. Even the heart and the front body are lifted. Final breath in. Flutter your lips, breath out. First, tuck your back toes. Lean into your left hand to remove that block if you used it underneath your hip. Go ahead and press into those back toes to slide the front heel towards you. So we come back into this genuine half split. And if you stayed in this genuine half split this whole time, then you can just take the foot up and over the bolster and find a seat. Nice work. I've never taught that one before. That was fun. Let's see. We are going to move on to, let's go to the other side while we're here, while we're nice and lifted. Take the bolster back long ways onto the mat. Blocks are at the top of your mat or onto the bolster. We'll get really close to the bolster, standing on our knees and our shins. Get the right knee and the front of the thigh up against the bolster so it's nice and supported. Tuck the back toes, lean into the right, and step the left foot forward. Blocks are there if you need. Untuck your back toes and begin to surrender the hips forward and down, allowing that right quad to be supported by the bolsters. Yeah, really nice. And who knows, maybe you want to experiment with deeper depths, taking the blocks to the medium setting or even the highest setting, just to feel and see what it's like to come onto the forearms if that allows you to soften into this sometimes demanding lizard pose. But close the eyes and relax the shoulders. Breathe in through the nose. And flutter the lips, breath out. Nice. And at any point that this depth gets to be too deep or too much on the body, then it's okay to come out of it slightly and find a path that still allows the work, but also the softening. Right? The body shouldn't be screaming or telling you, get out, get out, get out. There should be some work involved, but no pain, no push. My husband just got home and our cat Yolo just loves to be with him every time he comes home. He even hears him coming from down the hall and he'll run to the front door like a dog. God bless him. Such adorable little creatures this world has. What creations. Little personalities. So good. Almost there. We have just half a minute left. See what you can soften while still maintaining your stance and foundation, right? The form of the pose. Little doors can be unlocked in the body simply due to patience. Final breath in. Flutter the lips, breath out. Go ahead and tuck the back toes. Hands come onto your blocks. Press into your palms to lengthen your front leg, lifting the left toes towards the sky. Just a quick little lengthen out. Good. And then we'll re-step into that left foot, rebending the left knee. Bolsters come underneath us horizontally. Blocks come with us. They frame the front leg. They're on the bolster, any height. But we'll keep the back toes tucked, and up to you if you simply just lengthen the front leg, allowing the bolster to support you underneath the, the calf, the knee, the thigh, whatever it's reaching. Or maybe you went to little deeper depths, you slide the front heel forward, coming onto the bolster, hips rest on the bolster. And yeah, that's a little too deep for me right now, so I'm going to do what I did before. I'm going to take my block, keeping it the width of the bolster, so that when I lower down, it's a lot more comfortable. I can stay here longer, and my hips are facing forward. It's a genuine, supported full split. Yeah, beautiful. Soften in and close your eyes. Take a deep breath into the nose. Big flutter of the lips, breath out. Every time we come to a pose, it's an opportunity to let something go. And you know what? Sometimes we don't even have to think of a certain thing. It doesn't even have to be a thing at all. Just energy, just stagnant air that may have built up over the day, the weeks, the years, who knows? Every time we come to a yoga class, it's a great time to breathe more than you normally do. Take advantage of it, right? Really breathe into that life. So when you leave, you're like, oh my gosh, why have I not been doing this whole time? So when you do finally realize it off the mat, you really acknowledge how precious this life is and how delicious it is to breathe. How fortifying, nurturing, and nutritious for the body and the mind to functionally work. Relax those shoulders. Maybe even twinkle those toes, those front toes again, reminding them that they are a part of this. Maybe it's just me, but sometimes I feel like the smaller limbs of me forget what to do, and only certain parts of the body work or are awake. So little reminders are nice here and there. Split in Sanskrit can also be described as Hanuman. And Hanuman is the monkey deity we often see depicted opening up his heart, where Sita and Ram, two of the great lovers, live. Well, Hanuman came to be in all his great divinity by taking leaps of faith. Quite literally, leaps of faith across worlds, all in the name of love. Final breath in, big sigh out. Tuck the back toes, lean into your right hand. Take that block out from underneath your left thigh if you used it. Pressing into those back toes and into your hand, slide your front heel forward. Oh, maybe you can rebend it and slide that leg up and over the bolster, returning it to meet the right. Or even slide the bolsters out. There's no particular or fancy way. I try to do it in such a way that seems mechanically correct for the body. But if you just have to move things to the side, just be like, get out of the way, I totally get it. There's a lot of things involved. All right, let's see here. I almost forgot. Take one bolster, horizontal down your mat. We're going to come into a sleeping swan. Right foot will step forward. Heel toe, that front foot all the way to the left side. Peel the shin down to the ground. This is also known as a pigeon pose. Back leg is lengthened. And once you've situated the hips, you can begin to walk the hands forward, folding forward, maybe even bringing a block underneath your third eye. Maybe 2 blocks if you need a bit more of the ground to come to you. Yeah, really nice. Breath in and a sigh out. Mm. 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 Generous breathings in through the nose. And a hum on the breath out. Mm. Half a minute left here. Mm. Final breath in. Flutter of the lips, breath out. Rock the third eye from side to side. Palms press down into the earth. Assist yourself upright. Lean into your right hip. Swing your left leg around. And we'll take it on the other side. So maybe you lean into your left hip. Maybe. Of course, if you're ready to come into it a way that you really enjoy, you can definitely do that. But maybe lean into your left hip and swing the right leg back behind you. Maybe. Yeah. Nice. And you can always tuck those toes under behind you so that you can really position the right hip and knee down towards the ground. So there's no sickling of the toes or the kneecap outward. Yeah. And then when you found that position, fold forward. Any amount that allows you to stay. Settle in. Take a breath in through the nose. Sigh on the breath out. Just a minute left. Soften into those tight, sticky places. Breathe into those spaces. Breath in. Flutter your lips, breath out. Rock that third eye from side to side on your blocks. Give yourself a little massage. Then palms press into the ground. Press yourself upright. Lean into your left hip. Swing your right leg around to the front. Nice. We'll slide our hips forward and off of our bolster. And we'll slide the bolster a little bit further back behind us. We're going to use it for the next pose. Next pose is called Mountain Brook. We'll take one blanket, it'll act as a pillow that'll go at the top of our mat, or I guess the back of our mats. Our head will rest here. And let's see. Since we have two bolsters, we'll take the second bolster and put it beneath the thighs. So the hips will be neutral, legs are neutral. Just go ahead and lengthen the legs so that the bolster is right beneath the knees. So we create the natural curve of the legs. And then hands come onto the ground or to your bolster. You'll start to recline back so that the bolster that's behind your heart is indeed behind the heart, not the belly. Right? So it's a little bit more lifted towards the shoulders. And but you also don't want the shoulders to be completely on the bolster, right? They fall onto the ground, and then you have that blanket right behind you to support your head so that the entire spine is long and our chins don't hike up towards the sky. You can even curl under the corners of that blanket so that it kind of cocoons and cradles the head. When you've adjusted your pillow, you'll then cactus or tee the arms. I personally love to cactus. The teeing of the arms can feel a little just too much, a little too much stretch happening there. So there's a great softness that comes with the cactus of the arms and still a great expansion across the chest and a genuine opening, external rotation of the shoulder girdles. Close the eyes, settle in, and heavy your body into these bolsters. Breathe in through the nose. Exhale out of your mouth. Ha. Let's do that again. Big breath in. HA out of your mouth. Let it be audible. Ha. And settle in. In this pose, we definitely let the breath do the work for us. Of course, we're part of the conversation. This is a much more passive pose as compared to the first couple of poses that we've done. Less holding, more just being. Anytime you need to sigh or flutter the lips, do so. You are your own river. Let it go. Let it flow. Heck, since you're at home and there's no one else around, I've done this, and it's kind of silly to do this, but if the tongue feels tense or tight, it might feel nice to breathe in through the nose and then stick out the tongue, give a little raspberry. You might get a little shower though when that comes right back down, but it just feels really good to allow, to give the tongue a bit of something to do, right? Otherwise it kind of just sits in there, tense, thinking about the things it wants to say. But we're always fluttering the lips. We rarely flutter the tongue. Man, the tongue is a huge muscle. So if you don't feel completely repulsed by your own saliva, breathe in. Stick out your tongue, make some audible noise. You might need to take another shower or wash your face after this, but it's amusing and relaxing to the tongue. And to the innocence that still lives within. And it doesn't have to be audible, it could even just be a soft little flutter of the tongue. But whatever helps it to Do whatever you need to do to help it to relax, to chill out, release those unnecessary tensions. Last breath in. Breathe it out your way. Begin to step your feet one by one onto your bolster. And then rock or roll to one side, either your right or your left. Hands come to the ground, press the ground away to come up to a seat. And we got one last pose. We just want to clear the space. One last pose before Shavasana. So, double bolster. We stack them one on top of the other. They're still horizontal down the center of our mats. Legs up and over the bolster. We'll first come to recline all the way onto our backs. And then you'll start to shimmy yourself forward, bringing your hips and your sacrum onto the bolster. Nice and supported here. It's a supported bridge. You can T or cactus the arms. Yeah, lovely. Maybe you extend one leg long, maybe both. Close the eyes. Breath in through the nose. Gentle sigh out of the mouth. Surrender. It should feel really nice in the front of the hip creases, making all sorts of space in what was before bound or compressed. We won't be here too long, just a minute left to go. Doing just a little bit more work to neutralize the body, neutralize the hips and the spine. Enjoy the last few moments of the rise and fall of your breath and belly. Breathe it all in. Flutter your lips, breathe it all out. Slide your feet to the ground one by one. Pull your one knee in towards your chest, then the other. Float for just a moment here. And then hands come to your bolster. Begin to slide the bolster forward. It might be the top one first. That's what's happening with mine. I don't know. I got lucky, I guess. You could slide that one off to the side. If your hips are still on a second bolster, you'll further slide it downwards towards the bottom of your mat, just enough so it catches the back of the thighs and the knees for Shavasana. Yeah, settle in. Palms are facing the sky. Take a final breath in. Exhale out of the mouth. Let it all go. In this Shavasana pose, since we've been talking about water and being the water and letting things go and basking in what we've let go. Maybe we're no longer by that river. Maybe we've just emerged from the river. We're soaking wet. And we're drying off under the sun. And everything feels nice because we've been cleansed by the water. We've cleansed our thoughts, purified our bodies, purified our minds. It's almost like we've been washed downstream off a sweet little waterfall, only to come into a sweet little lagoon, to then rest upon the little island that meets the surf, resting in the warm sun. Complete and worry-free, at least for now. Which is why it's a practice, because we always come back. It's a meeting over and over and over again. Constant reminders and lessons for life. Well, that was a very big flow. So I want you to listen to what your body needs. I definitely recommend a longer Shavasana if you can take it, if you can stay. The time is now 8:03, and so we shall out. But like I said, you know your body most, and you know what it needs in order to receive all that it's taken in just from this class or even from the day. Further, give yourself this pause to settle into these little shifts that occur. And then you just emerge whenever you're ready to emerge. Life will be waiting. There's no rush. Let's hum out our ohms. Breathing in. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace from me to you. I'll see you next time.